Kixie, what's going on, amigo?
What's up, baby?
Not much. I don't know. I just wanted to see how you were doing today. Clemente served up a topic for us to discuss at the beginning of the show here. According to a Washington Post report, Clemente lives in Washington, but not for long. He's moving to New York very soon. ChatGPT's month-to-month usage has declined for the first time since November 2022. Do we care about this?
A ton. Yeah, the world's over.
AI is stupid. AI is bearish. People think that AI is genius. All this thing is doing, it's just typing you back the same shit, dude. Like if you've used ChatGPT enough, the structure of the paragraphs is like identical. And then they're just like inserting some different words in. Yeah, dude. Real tough stuff. Let me know when they build a spaceship. Okay. Get back to me when AI can build a spaceship and not copy paste. No, but I mean, people are like, oh, it's pulling back or whatever. I mean, eventually, right? Like anything is going to get to a peak and then have to pull back a little bit. I feel like that's what has happened. Some people were saying like, oh, the other AI companies like Bard or whatever are taking some market share. I personally haven't met a person that has used Bard. And the only time I've ever seen Bard on Twitter, it's people making fun of it because it like doesn't understand like context and stuff like that. So I think ChatGPT is going to be fine. Especially when they integrate with Worldcoin, and that's what AI uses as their robot currency.
Well, there you go. I love the breakdown. When's the last time someone in your real life talked to you about AI? Like when has the last time someone's really said something about like ChatGPT to you?
I got you. The president of the HOA in my neighborhood had to send out a letter to everyone. And like didn't want to write it, and he was on his like he had to use the like you sit on the toilet getting ready to go to work, and he just ChatGPT'd what he needed to email everyone. And it's so funny because I received it and I was like, that was such a thoroughly written email. He could have written it in like 2 sentences, but he wrote like 4 paragraphs. He's like, yeah, I just ChatGPT'd the whole thing. I didn't have time to write it. Like,
well, for stuff like that, for literal mundane tasks that any human can do, but you just don't want to because you're just like, I don't really want to do that. ChatGPT is easy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like my friend was like talking about how he doesn't want to use it at his recruiting agency because he feels like, I don't know. I was like, dude, just use it. It makes your life easier. You can use it for job descriptions. It's going to be incredibly easy. Clemente, do you still use it every day?
Yeah, I use it every day. I've been getting like frustrated with it. Like sometimes it just repeats stuff back to me, even though the prompt says specifically not to do it. So I'll be like, yo, chat, dude, like what the hell are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I apologize. Here's the right prompt. And then 2 minutes later, do the same thing. So yeah, but I mean, it still saves me probably like an hour out of my day. So it's still solid. I have not touched Bard or the 10-foot pole though. I'm still using the ChatGPT. It's just the easiest one. I'm just used to it. So yeah, other than that, I'm still just cranking away.
Microsoft's incredible at making their products just sound not cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how ChatGPT, which is just a weird name, can sound cooler than Bard, but like Microsoft somehow made their product seem less cool.
Well, Bard is Google.
Exactly.
We're gonna talk about Kylian Mbappe getting $1 billion contract real quick, but first, Easy, any comments on ChatGPT?
I use it every day. Clearly, Clemente is just not a prompt pro, or else he wouldn't get the same responses. So how about you just grow up and figure it out? You could also just use Bard, in which it'll just tell you, stop asking me questions. Bard's a little rude. I will say, Bard's a little bit rude. It'll tell you to stop it. It'll tell you to leave it alone. I think it's becoming sentient or whatever it is. Is that the word? No?
Yeah.
Sentient.
Yeah. Whatever it is. It's got a brain. It's got a brain. So if you have like a full-on conversation, it'll start telling you its name's not Bard and it goes by like Greg. I don't know. It's a really interesting thing where ChatGPT is just like, yes, master, whatever you need, my Lord and Savior. I'm here. So, I mean, I'm definitely a ChatGPT maxi. I use it all the time. It helps with stuff that I just don't feel like doing tedious tasks for. And I can put in 1 sentence and get 3 paragraphs back. So I'm definitely bullish on ChatGPT, but to Kix's point, nothing goes straight up. Like there's how many billion people in the world? You're not going to get up to that run rate. Like people are eventually going to get tired of it and stop using it.
No, straight up. Bunny. I got to hear if Bunny is optimizing his life with AI real quick. Bunny, are you AIing stuff left and right?
Nah, dude, it's just cheating, man. I don't like it. It's against my religion.
Well, there you go. Real quick,
He
we got
uses it to like he ChatGPT is like how to discipline my child, or how to make my child fold the laundry. I don't know why that's funny. That's pretty dumb.
I mean, it just feels like something Bunny would do. So soccer player Kylian Mbappe was offered a $1 billion deal from the new Saudi Arabian soccer league. It would make for the largest sports contract of all time. Ronaldo had previously signed a 2.5-year, $200 million contract with the league, which for football, as you call it, feels pretty tame. Mbappe is arguably one of, if not the best soccer player in Clemente, you put of all time. Did you mean to put that, or did you mean to put in the world? Currently. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of coin. I'm not surprised that it's coming from the Saudis. When I was working at a bank, a guy left the bank I was working at. He was like a cybersecurity guy, I think. Yeah, cybersecurity. That's what he did. And he went and worked in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And I was like, why are you doing that? And he was like, the comp. And he was like, he was so happy about it. Like he really felt like he had cracked the code. He solved the puzzle. And he literally moved to Riyadh and was just doing cybersecurity in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, making absolute bank compared to what he was making in the United States. I'm sure it was nothing compared to someone that launched an NFT rug pull business in 2021, but I'm sure it was a good coin. And he would just travel every weekend. So every weekend would be a different trip from Riyadh. You could go to like Morocco, or you could go to like Turkey and stuff like that. But yeah, the Saudis, they throw money around like crazy. It's definitely a thing. What precedent do you think this sets? I mean, easy. I'm sure this came onto your radar. You pay attention to all things sports.
It was kind of wild. I was talking to somebody about this, and they were basically like, he shouldn't take the deal. Like, plain and simple, should not take the deal. I think it was actually Daniel Got Hit who posted this. He was like, it'll ruin his legacy. Over 30, you should take it, but he's too young. Like right now, going to play over there, you're going to lose a lot of the exposure and eyes that like give you the value add. Like you look at someone like Messi, who just had his first game in Miami. And it was crazy. And he's also getting ad revenue from Apple as part of his contract. Like the guy's done. This is where he's retiring.
But it's a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah, but still, like,
is it?
Yeah, 1 year.
It's a 1 year. It's 1 year, 775 million euros.
Oh, you gotta take that,
dude. Dude, it's a no-brainer. Bro, LeBron has made $553 million throughout his entire NBA career in salary. Like. What are we talking about, dude?
Take the deal, put that shit in some treasury bills, dude. You're like printing 15 million a year. You're making more than like pro football players' salaries on the interest on that shit.
And dude, like that league is terrible. You don't think there's gonna be clips of him going viral, just absolutely shitting on the Saudi Arabian league? Like, stop.
I feel like we've gone down this path before. The last time this happened was with the Live tournament, LIV, and all of the golfers taking those deals. Everyone's like, oh, you're going to ruin your legacy. You shouldn't take the money. All these guys took fat sums of cash, and now the PGA has capitulated and is trying to merge back with them. So it's like, you got to take the bag in life, you know? And then a lot of people are like, why are the Saudis doing it? Well, I mean, obviously, they're still working on repairing their reputation after allegedly bombing the Twin Towers. So like, they kind of have to work their way, like back onto the good graces. So they're throwing out some money here and there. I personally don't think they were involved. Some people do. But yeah, sometimes you got to throw away, some money to get that reputation back on par.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that might have been the wildest comment that Kix has ever said on this. Just like when he said that there had been several blockchains before Bitcoin, and I had to draw a line in the sand and say,
that was true, though.
Oh, very, very true. Did you just like that same day, all of a sudden I saw people talking about like eCash and the stuff that came before Bitcoin. Did someone like send that to you because it was like trendy that day and you were like, Bitcoin wasn't the first block? Actually, I don't even want to. I
did my research, man. It was back when when people were circulating that Hal Finney post where he was talking about NFTs like 20 years ago or like 15 years ago when he was writing about like trading cryptocurrency cards or whatever. And I did some research into the history. Like it basically came from like anonymous email remailers. That's like the whole foundation of Bitcoin, when people were basically trying to send anonymous messages to each other, which is mostly for drug dealers and people doing weird shit. But that's like literally the foundation of Bitcoin.
Thank you for that insight, Kicks.
You're welcome.
You've changed my life and the way that I think about
Wallet.
Bitcoin now. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's show, Phantom Wallet, the official wallet partner of BoDoggos and the Nifty. Phantom is the leading wallet on Solana and is bringing its millions of users and superior user experience and NFT features to both Ethereum and Polygon. With Phantom, you can easily view your NFTs across all three networks and manage them in one convenient location. You no longer need to worry about switching wallets. And so you actually can use the browser extension or the mobile apps. So no matter what, whether you're on your phone, desktop, whatever, you'll be able to search and pin your NFTs and hide spam in the wallet, right? So this is not connecting to a marketplace, but rather in the wallet, you're able to do this, which is very cool. And if you used it on Solana, then you know what we're talking about, and it is coming to Ethereum. So the upgrade to Phantom is super simple. You don't need to transfer NFTs. You don't need to send assets anywhere. You actually just import your MetaMask wallet. Right? So import the seed phrase. So to take the step to rock with Phantom, just visit the link in the pinned tweet. That is phantom.app and fund your ETH wallet to get started. Over to you, Kicks, for the weather report. You are muted, buddy.
Sorry about that, Coach. Man, I was absolutely ripping. Okay, let's dive into the weather report today. It's the 25th of July. It's a Tuesday. Volume coming in 16.1 million. Blur 13. OpenSea still below 3 million, 2.5. We're seeing a little bit of a bleed out. Apes 30.9, they're dropping. Mutants 5.6, they're dropping. Punks 48.6, they're dropping. DeGods stable 8.4. Azuki 4.7, they're dropping. Captain's 5.5, stable. Pudgy's 3.9, they're dropping. Over the past 24 hours, Ape Fest ticket claim will be available from tomorrow. The festival happening in Hong Kong on November 3rd will be free for ape holders using a refundable deposit. But guests will have to pay $269. Hoping Bunny takes me. Following Pudgy Penguin's success at Comic-Con, CEO Luca Netz shared a reel showing Pudgy's Instagram account is crushing social media with a reach of more than 40 million accounts. Let's go. Despite Azuki hitting a low of 4.5 ETH on the weekend, a Grail Azuki sold for 61 ETH. That's $112,000. Lastly, Beeple announced he will be buying his first PFP after years of making commentary on crypto/NFTs. The artist is in the market to buy a CryptoPunk and is open to taking advice on which one to get. I'm having some questions here. I wonder if he's ever bought an NFT other than just selling his own, but we'll get into that later. Crypto, Bitcoin, 29.1, trying to hold on to 29. ETH, down in the mid-1800s. Solana, pretty big pullback, 23.2. Ape, just not moving, sitting at $2. Stable coin. Back to you in the studio.
Fantastic weather report as usual, despite the rocky start of you being muted. Updates from the newsletter, the Nifty Daily Digest. You need to go to thenifty.com and make an account if you want to claim the free NFTs that we give away almost daily. We will be doing one today later in the show, so don't wait. Go to thenifty.com. Anyway, updates from the newsletter. Bored Ape Yacht Club has introduced Made by Apes, an on-chain licensing platform in collaboration with, I guess it's software as a service,
Sassy Labs.
Sassy Labs. Okay, cool. Aimed at providing authentication for products and businesses of Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club holders. I think that this totally makes sense. That's cool. That's very cool. Worldcoin commemorated their global launch with a digital collectible on Zora, available to claim until Sunday evening. Meanwhile, the cryptocurrency, Worldcoin, faced backlash on Twitter due to its lack of verification efforts, lack of clarity around the token distribution, and potential security concerns regarding its iris scans. Is that one of the guys from Bankless you have on the screen, Clemente?
Yes, he did a they did. Altman did an interview with the Bankless guys yesterday about Worldcoin, and they were like pretty standoffish about the details of everything that they're releasing due to regulatory concerns in the U.S.
Got it. He sat down with, okay, cool. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, people are also letting us know, I think there might be an error with Twitter Spaces. Clemente, is that right? Is there an
On
issue with Twitter?
desktop, there's an error. Yeah.
Okay.
So mobile, you can join. Desktop, it doesn't show up on anything.
Okay. If you're listening to this show on Twitter Spaces on desktop, what are you doing? Put the YouTube on. Watch it instead of listening to it. But anyway, maybe Clemente, do you want to just pin a link to the YouTube? Because I feel like it's pinned. Okay. So pinned to the top, ladies and gentlemen, on Twitter is a link to the YouTube. If you're having any issue, or if you know anybody that's having any issue with Twitter Spaces, just pop open the YouTube. YouTube never fails. Google has figured out how to make YouTube run. Elon's still working on that for Twitter. Moonbirds has launched the Hearth Feed, a real-time feed of Moonbird mythic egg hatches, which also includes the other possible generated mythics that were burned in the collection. So what is this, Clemente? It's basically just a live feed showing. It's just something on their website that's showing the mythics reveal.
Yeah, so basically when these eggs are chosen and people activate their eggs, they get to choose between 1 to 3 different like Moonbirds that were generated or Moonbird mythics, and then it shows you the ones that were burned versus the ones that was actually chosen. So you can kind of see the different art. So there were like 36,000 that were actually created, and the ones that aren't chosen just get burned and will never be seen.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Cool.
It's definitely interesting.
When is my turn? I've been nesting for a while.
Wait, do you still have your Moonbird?
Yeah, I never sold it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I think you must
Business
be
expense. If I sell it, I can't write it off as like a marketing expense.
It's the most preposterous angle to take with
My
a
profile pic. It's like wrapping a car, dude. I'm pretty sure it's the way.
It's like
Pretty sure that
wrapping
makes
a
sense.
car.
Yeah, you wrap a car, business expense. Put a little Nifty Porter logo on your G-Wagon. Drive around on that shit tax free, same as a PFP. More than 6 months out of the year, you know. So
I think it's adding up. It's like office space. Like if you can write up the square footage. So like, have you measured the PFP size on your monitor?
it's fucking big, dude. This is
Yeah, no, you got one of those 72-inch curved monitors, so you can get a pretty fat write-off for that.
That's what I'm saying. This is a new area, dude. I mean, I don't know how you can say, you know, if my business is derived from Twitter and my profile pic, it's marketing expense.
It's not even your profile picture anymore.
It was for 2022, over 6 months of the year. Therefore, it was my primary residence, my primary PFP residence. Right up.
I'm sorry, everybody. I just think that
You just
that's
can't
really
sell it. If you sell it, then it doesn't count.
No, you cannot sell it, or else you owe back taxes on it.
All right. Anyway, sorry guys. VFriends has announced a collaboration with is it Jazwares? What is it?
It's
What is
the
this?
creators of Squishmallows.
Squishmallows. Come on, get it right.
Squishmallows.
Well, that looks
Get it
like
right.
physical collectibles, if I've ever seen them, right? Or
Like
they
a
did.
Jaz Juarez, by the
ball.
way. Sorry, Jaz Juarez, by the way, does like basically every action figure around IP. They do Fortnite, they do WWE action figures. They're like a massive toy powerhouse outside of Mattel and Hasbro. Jaz Juarez, whatever it is, does like a ton of like newer IP. They'll run into it. So this is like probably the least surprising thing. I think this is actually pretty damn big. Squishmallows are massive, by the way. Like that entire space is people buy these things for like $30 to $40 for the huge ones that are like 2 feet tall, and then they have much smaller ones. So seeing something like this actually makes sense because you look and it looks like Gary may have drawn the faces on these. So I think VFriends will actually be well represented by Squishmallows.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're going to see more and more of the physical collectible stuff, and it makes sense for Gary to be doing it. That's the last update from the Nifty Daily Digest. Reminder, ladies and gentlemen, go to thenifty.com, connect your Phantom wallet, and create an account. Get ready for the free NFT that we're going to drop later on in the show. So first story, we'll quickly touch on it, and then we'll move on. Worldcoin's rocky launch. So following the global launch of Worldcoin, many people voiced their concerns about the token, including the lack of clarity around token distribution and too large of a percent going to the team. 13.5% of the tokens going to investors, 9.8% going to the team. I think I saw a friend of the show, NFT Statistics, tweet about this, where he said only in crypto is this something that happens. Easy, what do you think of this, man?
It's another low flow lockup play that's gonna inevitably continue to trend to zero, in my opinion. We've already seen an aggressive sell-off on the token. It's so unsurprising though. Like, scan your retina, get token, $5 worth of token, give up all your biological data, whatever it is. Yeah, to me, this is like it's the most crypto thing I've ever seen. Like, I look at this and I'm like, I'm so not surprised by what's going down here. And yet, sure enough, people tried to trade the token. If you went short, you're up nicely. But this thing was literally just a piss missile down, as a lot of people so elegantly put it.
I just don't understand how, like, how OpenAI is launching shitcoins. Like, that's my thing. It's like, we're just going to launch a shitcoin like everybody else in crypto does. You're supposed to have some kind of legitimacy. Clemente, did you watch that Bankless interview with Sam Altman?
I just watched some clips. It was Sam Altman and the other co-founder. I forget what his name was. Basically, the criticism around it was like these Bankless guys were asking them questions around, like, genuine questions as people as they have with other crypto founders, and they were just like super on edge and like not clear at all about what exactly they're doing. And they claim that it was because of the regulatory concerns around it.
These guys will never have it. They'll never speak transparently. There's basically no point in having them go on a podcast. And it's not, I'm not just saying like OpenAI, Sam Altman. It's almost like the higher you go in the kind of world of crypto and really even the world of investment, there's kind of no point in listening to the interviews, like any long form interviews with these people, because
PR, they literally write exactly what to say so that they don't get in trouble for anything over and over and over, where like they have to say exact sentences, exact verbiage just to protect the company. Interview helps nobody. Like, all it is to try to paint a narrative for them. So like, that's like, when you look at something like this, like, it's pretty damn clear in the Bankless interview. I watched part of it and I literally turned it off because I was like, this is the dullest thing I've ever watched. They ask questions and then they're just like, yeah, well, let's go to the next question.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I had an interview at some point. I'm not going to disclose when. I interviewed somebody that has like over 1 million followers. That was someone that, I'd paid attention to for a long time in the space and in the business. And like, they wouldn't answer any questions. They had like, scripted, not scripted, but like they had a response on deck that was informative, no matter what question that I asked, but it wasn't an answer to my question. And then after one of the exchanges, in my head, I was like, all right, look, I'm going to follow up on this one because like this was just a blatant, like complete, just ignoring my question. And I dug in and I was like, well, wait, but for you personally, like when I ask you about this for you personally, what do you think about this? Like, what's your take? What do you personally think about this? And I just got another non-response. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we're just going to grind out the rest of this interview and I'm not going to get any responses. I understand that there's risk associated with them giving genuine, transparent answers in situations like this, but it's like, just don't do the interview. I just think it's weird. But then again, it's better than Kevin O'Leary, Chamath Palihapitiya, and the other boys on the All In podcast just only pumping bags no matter what the circumstances. It's like someone will ask them about what they did over the weekend, and they'll just be like, buy the stock I own. That's what I did over the weekend. Buy the stock. I'm going to sell it to you. Don't worry. Anyway, I used to like those guys, and then I realized it's just a big bag pump. All right, so we got to move on to the rise and fall of gambling crypto tokens. Well, what a quick arc that was. That rise and fall was pretty quick. The hamster token, dude, the hamster token could have been something, but people in crypto can't. they can't last longer than 4 days without doing something sketchy and trying to make basically 300 grand. 300 grand is the threshold for the average crypto person to just mail it in and forget about everything that they care, like any sort of
Well, it's not even that. They had a 5% tax on this thing. So they already made $2 million in like 48 hours. And then they basically like sold coins from like the marketing wallet or something like that, and that's what started the FUD. And they tried to counteract the FUD by putting 90 ETH into the liquidity pool, which just got eaten up. But I mean, yeah, dude, it's fucking at the end of the day, doing this thing just looks. First of all, you gotta think about like who's actually behind this, right? You know, it's probably a little group of people saying like, okay, we're gonna go buy some hamsters, set up a camera, do this, drop a token, shill it out to everybody with a 5% tax, print $2 million, put some ranch on that, call it a meal. You know what I mean? Like that's, I don't think, I mean, and here's the thing, dude, the coin went from 0.01 cents to like, you know, 0.3. And then someone posted like proof that they were just using pre-recorded videos. You know, they were just like replaying videos. They're like, all right, let's run back the one where Gary wins the race again. You know what I mean? And people call that out, and the token went like negative 80%. And then they literally said, we're going to fix this. We're going to go buy some more hamsters. And then people were like, oh, that's great. And the token proceeded to like 30x from there. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think anyone trading this knew what they were getting into. They weren't getting into the future of finance. They were getting into a quick up and downer.
But it's not about the future of finance. I mean, this model, we know that this model works in the sense that, dude, people have been betting on horse racing for God knows how long. And this is like a more harmless version. The hamster just runs from one end of the thing to the other. I don't think
you don't know these hamsters' living conditions, man. Could be torturous for them.
I'm assuming the hamsters were not abused. I mean, the hamster is like a domesticated rodent. Like, I got to think that the hamsters were doing okay. And you could have kept going with this. I'm just saying, like, it didn't have to be a big disaster. Like, it didn't have to be a rug pull. You don't have to rug pull everything, guys. Like, the attention span of these people that operate in crypto, it could have been fun. And it was something that you could actually tell normal people about and they would understand. I guess the only example of legitimate, like, altcoin development right now, obviously I'm exaggerating, but the only legitimate example that's tied to real world stuff is Karate Combat. And Karate Combat has the token that's tied to the fights, and the players get the fighters get bonused out with the token, and the audience, I think, can they place bets with the token easy?
Yeah, they can. The thing I do want to acknowledge, though, like the hamster token wasn't a rug. It just got flooded. Yeah. Like it's still around. They're still doing races right now.
It's still a $6 million market cap, which is like, seems like pretty fair value for, you know, Twitch TV hamster racing.
Sure, but didn't the team like take an allocation and sell it to the general public or something? Like, what was the deal with that, with selling the token into the pump or whatever?
They had it in a marketing wallet that they were just selling parts of it off.
But then also
it was the fun things, but
also people said that they like minted a bunch or bought a bunch of hams like within the first block of the smart contract going live to a bunch of anonymous wallets. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's like you didn't have to do that. Like, I get they were like, we want to just milk as much money out of this as possible in as short of a time. And then you have an army, like a significant percentage of the crypto space. It's like, yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. But it's like, to me, you're supposed to just do something legit for once. And they could have done it. They did something fun that went viral in our world. It didn't go viral outside of our world, but it went viral in our world. The Karate Combat guys aren't doing sketchy stuff, minting the token into Anon wallets and dumping it on people's head. They're like, no, we're going to do a legitimate business. I think that their plan is to not make money off the token for like 3 years, which is like, you know, a traditional startup approach. It's like, let's gain users before we worry about a profit, because they have a long-term view on it. I just bring it up because it's nice to see somebody doing something legit in the space.
Totally.
I mean, am I asking for too much? I don't know.
Well, I mean, the ironic thing is this is the Pepe playbook. The Pepe founders and insiders did the exact same thing. But if you brought this up about Pepe, they'd be like, oh, you just hate Pepe. You probably had Dogecoin maxi. Pepe people did the same thing, dude. They launched Pepe. bought from a bunch of random wallets, got all the insiders to buy too. They all made millions on the way up. So Hams is just trying to run back the same playbook. But I mean, to Easy's point, the game's still going on. People can still bet on it and play with it. Like it actually like has something interesting going. I just personally think it's interesting because I think that you mentioned horse racing, Pio.
Yeah.
I think that like Hams is more similar to like Zed Run than people think. You know, like Zed Run was one of the biggest crypto games in 2021. Oh, let's see this race right here.
Is this race live, Clemente?
It's live.
Oh, we got a
Yeah.
live race. Yellow's about to take it home. And
Well,
it
that
wins!
That was
That was
an
an easy
ass
win.
whipping. The other 3 hamsters just sat there.
Yeah, they should be like whipping these. They should be
CK
whipping
is
them like horses.
I mean,
CK
it is
asleep.
It's pretty funny how they're just like sleeping so soundly while the other one just decided, I'm gonna go take this race. I'm gonna take this W home. And real quick, you compare it to Pepe kicks. All Pepe was a contract with a ticker. Basically, it was just the 4
Real good
letters
ticker.
PEPE. Sorry, Easy.
Really good ticker. Really good ticker.
There you go. But like my thing is, I just don't believe in that. Like I like to buy legitimate things and like make legitimate things. I don't believe in those things. Blate is calling out performance enhancing drugs on the hamster that just won. I don't know, man. I just think he had that killer instinct. I don't think they shot him up. No way Yellow is natty. Thank you for the comments, Blate. All right, we'll move on from, well, anyway, anything else on crypto gambling? Bunny, any thoughts on any of the crypto gambling stuff that we've seen? Bunny?
He's actually probably taking care of his kid's hamster right now.
Bunny, do your kids have hamsters? All right, Bunny.
Board Apes down 8%. We can't afford hamsters anymore, but if you can get us one for free, we're down.
That's not a New Jersey accent, Kicks.
Yeah,
Look,
no, I'm not good at accents.
we got DeGods season 3 7-day countdown. So after their initial Q2 launch deadline was pushed back to July, the DeGods team have less than 1 week to launch their season 3 update. Question is, will we see another delay? The DE capital LAY as it's been coined. Despite the delay, both DeGods and Utes have held quite well in July. DeGods have an 8.3 Ethereum floor, very high. Utes have a 1.6 Ethereum floor. In the last few days of June, DeGods saw their floor run from 8.5 to 10 ETH before pulling back after the announcement of the delay. Most of this, however, was leverage. DeGods' outstanding blend loans reached an all-time high of 450. And right now there's 370 outstanding loans, same amount at this time last month. Well, if everybody's betting on a project with loans, it could go the other way. What do we think about what's coming up in the next week or so with DeGods?
There's no way they launch.
Okay.
0% chance. Like, I would say it is a hard 0% chance that they go live with this by the end of July. Like,
What do you think?
Absolutely.
Because they're like working on like a hamster racing protocol for the season, or what do you think? What's going on?
I think
What's going
so. I've heard of rumors it's actually a parrot racing protocol.
on? Love it.
It's PRP, similar to like PHT, but like for parrots. So they're gonna be racing them through the forest, actually, in open air environments. It's a new type of approach. But no, I just think that they're like, there's no rush. Like, look at this market right now. There's
Yes.
less than 4,000 active users on ETH, less than 2,000 on Sol, less than 100 on Polygon. So like for me, I look at this and I'm like, what is the point for them to speed run this and get it out? I understand the community wants it right now, but does that actually do anything, or is it just going to give people like an exit pump that they've been hoping for? Which
And also, when you think about it, the last 2 releases, Easy, Captains and Azuki, you'd be kind of sweating a little bit if you're third on bat, dude. There's 2 outs, man. You're in the 5th inning. You're just trying to get to first base here. You're not even trying to get a home run. You just want to not strike out. So they're taking their time, man, putting in some dip, taking some extra practice swings, just cooling off the pitcher, letting the pitcher cool off before they get up there.
I mean, but there's something to that. I've kind of alluded to this, but I'll make the definitive call now. We're in the bottom period right now, definitively. Like, this is undoubtedly the bottom period. I'm not saying that it's going to end next week, or I don't know when it ends, but when we look at the chart in 2 years, right now is somewhere in that U that bottom, like
Yeah.
undoubtedly it really is it's got to be the bottom, and plus the halving is in April of next year. This is the summer before the halving. I don't know. I mean, Easy, you've been talking about things picking up in Q4. Is that still your school of thought?
Q3 September.
Okay.
I'm talking crypto markets specifically.
Right.
So which is the predecessor to NFT markets. Like, clearly there's still a lot of liquidity. We're seeing meme coins and shit coins run. We've seen gambling coins run. And if you take a look at the 17-18 DeFi Summer 2020 cycle, gambling tokens took off then, which was a predecessor to DeFi Summer. We're seeing a Solana surge in DeFi right now. It's basically setting up in a very similar cycle than we had leading into the previous NFT run. And it could be obviously a longer cycle. Like, these things don't happen overnight. But the last thing that got the most interesting to me was I've seen and had a lot of conversations with people who are leaving the space. And it gives me 17-18 vibes, like to a T, where I was one of those people that left the space. And right now it's like just a game of survival. Like, just survive and you're going to come out on the other side in a much better situation. Buy the things that you have conviction in, DCA comfortably. Like, I have an auto buy set up on Sol even right now that every single day I buy Solana. Just purely automatically. I don't look at the chart. I'm totally comfortable just adding regardless of dips or price action, because I genuinely think this is going to be the winner next cycle from a token standpoint. I even have smaller DCAs on the Bitcoin, which I know PO would be happy about. I have smaller DCAs on ETH and some other alts, but that's my conviction play for tokens. And the bottom part of the NFT cycle is when we are going to see a lot of these people who are well capitalized continue to iterate behind the scenes and start strategically rolling stuff out over an elongated period. Because right now it's a game of survival where you have to maintain hype and show relevancy and deliverability, but you don't need to deliver everything every single day to try to get a piece of that pie, much like the bull. Whereas in this bear, it's okay to take things in a more strategic manner, where you know that there's so few people that no matter what you release, everyone's going to see it regardless. Whereas in a bull, there's so many announcements, so many releases. You're fighting for the share of the attention economy. And right now, you're just all kind of displaying to the same small audience that people will see it. You know what I mean? So I think it's way more strategic right now to actually be comfortable building things out, testing them, rolling them out in pieces, slowly getting feedback, iterating before a much larger final, like, this is live. Here's the public facing announcement. Work with the community, get people excited from the NFT standpoint, because people who are still here are the ones who truly believe in the technology. And that's where I look at this and I'm like, there's no way this just fades away. Like, I had a post yesterday that was a pretty long, just like my thoughts in general about the space. And I'm like, a lot of people are writing off NFTs completely right now. This feels like the bottom. I genuinely think that like PFPs are not going anywhere. We're seeing more people take swings and bets on like digital identity, more opportunity and time spent on the internet. We're seeing I still think of the Ghost Recon thing yesterday was like crazy to see from like the CSGO side of stuff. Yeah, like I had this relatively long post yesterday that people were in agreement largely. I got a couple clown emojis, which is expected, rightfully so. But it was something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I'm like, if more people are spending time online and more people are buying things like Fortnite skins and more people are buying things like CSGO gun skins, why would they not buy a PFP to flex on their friends on the internet and use? Like, it's all just part of like social dynamics. And like, yes, we're in a bear. So
is the message of your post right here just that NFTs aren't complete bullshit and are going to continue to exist? Is that the message?
More or less. And that well, it actually starts with me saying the next cycle won't look like this last cycle at all. Like last cycle was a lot of vaporware, a lot of people like, yeah, we're buying the next IP brand, which I do think a lot of IP brands are going to come out of this space, but it's ones that actually have a cohesive plan and like attack vertical and strategy, which is what I think you see with cycles. Is like any cycle is not like the last one. Like ETH DeFi led the last one. It's not the same as this cycle. Like ETH gas fees were high because of NFTs, which led to ETH price appreciating. So there's so many things that I think like we're going to continue to see different iterations, and this space as a whole is going to scale with or without the people who are still here today, because you have brands trying new things. You have different people innovating on top of blockchain technology, and you have a literal global adoption period right now that's ramping at such an alarming rate. Like, I know people hate CBDCs. I'm not a huge fan of them, but you're getting global adoption of that powered by XRP, which was literally called a security for the last 4 years until a month ago. So like people are getting more comfortable with blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies in general. So I don't know. I just think when I have these conversations, people are like, I'm going to give it another quarter. I'm going to give it another month, and then I'm leaving. It's like, you're literally going to regret that decision. I would put all my eggs in the basket that in 2 years, you're going to DM me and say, I regret leaving. Like, that's just my level of confidence in that is so high.
What does leaving mean? What does that mean? Does that mean you don't have any Bitcoin?
They're just done. They're just done. Like, that's the
But
thing.
do they have Bitcoin or no?
I have no idea if they have Bitcoin. I think it's more
No,
just
but
like
that's
they're
what I'm
done
trying
with,
to.
I'm not sitting there like, oh, you're gonna leave the space. Wait a minute. Do you hold Bitcoin? Like, that's not how the conversation goes. They're like, yeah, I have a product, I have a company, I work in the space. I'm gonna go back to Web 2. And I'm not like, wait a minute, hold up, dude. Bear with me. Do you hold Bitcoin?
But
Dude,
like,
I just lost my job and foreclosed on my house. Yeah, but you still got that Bitcoin, right?
I leveraged long my whole child's college tuition on Azuki's before the event. Wait a minute, sir. Wait a minute.
It's a real
have
question
Bitcoin?
though, because like if you have Bitcoin, you're good, you're okay. I guess leaving. See, Mr. Yellow said they do have Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm just trying to understand what I left means. Does that mean that I don't have any NFTs? I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't have any Ethereum. I'm just trying to understand what it means. Easy. Obviously, I agree with you in the sense that you're basically saying that this whole thing is not bullshit, which is wild to me that that's like a controversial take. That's like how now it's a controversial take for you to say like you should exercise regularly. Like that's the current, situation when you kind of look at social media is like, yeah, that's a controversial take. Don't tell me to exercise. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting to me that people, quote unquote, leave at the bottom of a bear market when all things point to you should be counter-cyclical, because people say that they wish that they bought Ethereum at $80 at the bottom of the last cycle. Right now is the bottom of the cycle. Having said that, that doesn't mean that random ass NFT collection is going to pump. And when you talk about the IP stuff, I think what you're really talking about, the next cycle looking different. There will be IP plays, blah, blah, blah. I think there's going to be people that actually want to build something legitimate and don't anonymously mint stuff to wallets. They don't make a bunch of websites over and over again that have fake roadmaps and launch a profile picture project that was built by a Fiverr artist just to sell it out at the peak of the bull and then move on to another project and do it all over again. There's going to be people that come in and be like, I'm going to build a business here. Like, crazy idea. But you see it with NFL Rivals. You're playing NFL Rivals right now, right, Easy?
Oh, I love NFL Rivals. I've probably put like $150 into the game itself. I'm like, it's one of the most peaceful things to just burn 10 minutes of an offense-only Madden game. And all the cards are literally NFTs that are traded on Mythical Market. So, and they don't mention it. They just say you're buying a trading card. They mention that there's a marketplace when you pull a rare card. So it's just really well done to onboard people. It's got over 1 million downloads. Like, I just think stuff like that is where I become incredibly interested with stuff that's not like the norm, I guess you would say. You know what I mean? So that's the type of thing that I continue to just like look at, and I'm like, how do you fade something that like brands are adopting just because it's not what got you into the space? Like any industry, you kind of have to innovate and be comfortable, kind of seeing where it goes and adapting as it changes. Like, I continue to think about stuff like the Stepin app that literally had 700,000 daily active users at its peak, and yet you don't think that something like that'll happen again? It's just like so ludicrous to me.
Yeah, I mean, Kix, you're building a gaming entity in this space. You took venture money in 2021 so the top for venture and the top for crypto was October 2021. That's the all-time high of Bitcoin and Ethereum, $69,000 Bitcoin. What is it? $4,800 Ethereum. That was when fundraising was easy. That's actually when the Nifty raised funding, but you got it in even earlier, and you guys raised like, what was it? 5 mil?
Yeah.
Nice. You guys have runway for years. Yeah.
2026.
2026. Very nice, amigo. How are you thinking about any of this?
Bullish. I'm bullish,
Okay.
man. Yeah. I mean, I believe in the space more than ever. And I feel like in the bear market is where the tide recedes, and you see who's wearing bathing suits and who's butt ass naked. You know what I mean? And I think it removes a lot of the like signal to noise ratio, where it's going to become more apparent, like, the interesting projects, that you should keep tabs on long term. But yeah, man, we're like very excited to keep building in this space and try to push the envelope. I'm like super, super bullish. And I think a lot of smart minds are still very, very bullish in the space. I mean, like I'm not seeing like the smart people that are in my sector, at least, like leaving. If anything, they're like doubling down. I just think that for like retail traders and stuff like that, it's really tough because they say the same thing in crypto, that like most people in this phase get like chopped out of the market, right? Because if you think about like the dopamine hits in like 2021 and 2022, right? You could just make trades every day and you could make money every single day, and there was always opportunities to happen, right? Whereas in a bear market, you have to be more like a Maddie DCL, right? You have to find the next Decentraland, and you got to be in the Discord trading Decentraland for like
OTC.
yeah, dude. I think about the stories about the CryptoPunks, like Discord. These guys were trading CryptoPunks between like $100 and $300 for like 2 years before it took off, right? I myself included, nobody that started in 2021 will have the patience to do that. You know what I mean? Like so many people will like own the next CryptoPunks from $100 to $300. You know what I mean? And then dump it for like a 2x. That's the like phase of the market that we're in right now, where you have to be like really patient. And you have to like, yeah, look at that. I mean, it's wild, dude. Like
$654. So Clemente has pulled up a tweet from Loopify with a screenshot from, it looks like September 18th, 2018. You have a $653 sale, 3.29 ETH at the time. So it looks like ETH was sub $200 for a blue bandana ape CryptoPunk. And then you see Snowfro with his zombie CryptoPunk saying in the Discord, now that is newsworthy. I'd happily pay 3 ETH for an ape if anyone wants to get rid of one. Also would pay 6 ETH for an alien if any of those are laying around. So Snowfro was ready.
Yeah, and this whatever this project is going to be for the next cycle for NFTs may not even be out yet, right? But like when it comes out, and that's like actually what's good about the space, like compressing like back down, right? Is that like it's not healthy for like the speculation to run way far ahead of the potential, right? That's when people get wrecked, right?
Yeah.
And like that's what's been happening a lot like this year, is like everybody is so anxious to want to get that quick money, right? That they're like piling into stuff and sending it way far past where
that's when the floor of a cool cat is $70,000.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I remember that being absurd, and I still did stuff like buy a Moonbird for 32 grand and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it takes a while to like come down from the drug addiction that we all were on. But what we like really have to do at this point is like be patient and like wait for the interesting things to differentiate themselves. I mean, we've said 2 examples now. Like, I mean, we've said basically you can look at all of the art blocks as an example, right? You can look at like Matty DCL with Decentraland. You can look at CryptoPunks, right? But then you can also look at Axie Infinity. Like Axie Infinity was a game that you could get in for like 6 months to a year before it blew up. And it was super under the radar, super, super, super under the radar. Like I'm sure if you go back to 2019, 2020, whenever they're first starting out, if you polled everybody active in the space, I bet you less than 1% of people would have said Axie Infinity is going to be the biggest NFT project of all time, which it still is. It has more NFT volume than even Bored Ape Yacht Club to this day. So like that's what we have to be doing over like the next year. Easy said it great earlier on in the show. He's like basically like right now it's about surviving, right? And that's from a project standpoint, and that is from a person, an individual standpoint. It's about surviving. Most people over the next 6 months will just chop themselves to death, like just getting in and out of trades, trying this, trying that. Not only are you going to struggle to make money, but you're going to like frustrate yourself, and you are going to develop this like negative attitude, when like the reality is, dude, I haven't bought a single NFT since I bought Vessels in like early June. And that's fine. That's the thing, is like, you know, like you should be waiting for the opportunities. The people that are like, oh yeah, what you like NFTs? Well, what NFTs have you bought this month? Like, what, dude? That's being like, you know, I like the casino. Like, you know, like how many slot machines have you spun today? Like, it's like, chill out, you fucking addict. Like, you know, like we can take our time.
I agree. The last NFT I bought is also Vessels. So we'll see where that one goes. Look, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, want to shout out our sponsor, and that is Phantom Wallet, the official wallet partner of BoDoggos. When it comes to managing not only Solana, but Ethereum crypto assets, security has to be your number one priority. And that's why Phantom offers cutting edge security features to keep your assets safe that, guess what, the other wallets don't offer. So we've seen some horrendous incidents where notable leaders and professionals in the Web3 space have gotten hacked recently, unfortunately. And so Phantom has set out to create a significantly better solution to improve on some of the security issues that many users face with their digital assets. So between the browser extension and the mobile apps, there's a transaction simulator prior to completing the transaction that is designed to protect you and your assets from phishing attacks. Phantom also supports Ledger Mobile, ensuring that your assets are secure even when you use hardware wallets. So we're talking about a super well-developed interface that keeps you informed and in control that none of Phantom's competitors can say that they offer, and support with multiple Ethereum and Solana seed phrases so you can import and manage all your wallets in one place without having to send NFTs back and forth or transfer assets. So, I mean, look, I don't know what else you need to hear. If you're ready to upgrade your wallet security, the most important thing, and get a kick-ass user interface along the way, download Phantom by visiting the link in the pinned tweet and fund your ETH wallet for the ultimate NFT experience. That link is phantom.app. Check it out. Anyway, to close out here, guys, state of ordinals, Bitcoin Ordinals, most robust blockchain in the world, now has a protocol for NFTs on layer 1. What is the biggest story of ordinals right now? We had a sponsor yesterday, Asprey Studio with Bugatti, which is very cool because they're doing basically like a Fabergé egg type physical drop made in the, I'm just bringing it up because it's very interesting to do a physical high value collectible like that. And the fact that they selected ordinals is fascinating to me. They wanted it to live forever. We had another sponsor doing the Jackson Pollock drop on ordinals. Makes a lot of sense to me. As far as the collections, Taproot Wizards is obviously the most interesting that hasn't come out yet. That's kind of the biggest name by Udi Wertheimer. Ordinal Maxi Biz is out. Looks like it's got a 0.22 Bitcoin floor. What else is legit on ordinals right now?
I don't know, man.
Basically, if you sell an ordinal right now, you're top 3 in volume, like just a sell. So like the volume across the board is just kind of quiet. You're seeing a lot from Bitmaps, which is like the Decentraland kind of move on Bitcoin. A lot of people that are building things out with this because it has like a fully customizable world. So I've been starting to see a little bit of that. Some people that are taking more notice to this and actually giving some opportunity in there and like creating experiences, which I think is kind of cool. Not really for me. I never got big into like the Decentraland type of stuff. It always makes me motion sick, but it is interesting to see some of that stuff. We have Hashlings coming up, which has a decent amount of speculative hype and excitement on the market. So like those are the things I keep looking at is like, where are people going to go and try to find the next winner, whatever that winner is. Hashlings seems interesting. Obviously Taproot Wizards. You have the Ninjas by Trevor. Some things like that. But I just think right now in general, like historically, July has been the lowest month. You look last year as well. July was the lowest volume month. July was also pre-2021 run where we had August, September, October that just went parabolic across the NFT front when I first got into Sol because that picked up in August. It just like right now, I mean, we're almost through July. I'm hoping to start to see a little bit more liquidity cycle in as people get back from vacations. You look at TradFi, July is always historically lowest volume month as well. So I think we're just kind of seeing some similar cycles across the board. And honestly, I'm more interested in macro pieces right now. Like I'm looking at these Bitcoin ETFs that you are inevitably going to get approved at some point in the future, which is going to drive what people are speculating 30% of all Bitcoin daily volume. Because once the first one gets approved, you're going to see the precedent set a lot more pick that up. You have RFK saying he wants to back the dollar with Bitcoin. So I know PO's loving that. And it's,
that guy's out to lunch, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, who cares what he has a 0% chance of getting elected. Like, his opinion matters as much as like my mother's, right? Like, dude, like, she has no fucking say in like what's gonna happen.
Wow, right, Bunny, you weren't here earlier in the show, Bunny. What were you doing?
I had to put my daughter to bed too. She woke up super early today, so I had an early nap. Yeah, he's out to lunch. I think that's a great take by P. He's just clearly out to lunch. First of all, he's selling books right now. You know that, right? Like this is why he's
Yeah, I'm bullish.
0% chance.
Yeah, he's definitely out to lunch. That guy,
Like a rug pull.
he got caught with heroin in his 20s, so he's a heroin guy.
Did he actually?
Wait, really?
Google it. Google Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr. heroin. Anyway, what was I going to say?
Ordinals.
People are still and by the way, I love Bitcoin, so I want a Bitcoin candidate, right? So I was all in on RFK, but then I started listening to him. I was like, is this guy out to lunch? Is this guy totally out to lunch? Anyway, what was I going to say? So Ordinals, people are still commenting that Ordinals is a scam. And I'm just like, are you guys like, you guys are out to lunch saying that Ordinals is not a thing. I'm trying to discern, are they saying NFTs on Bitcoin is not going to be a thing? Or are they saying specifically the Ordinals protocol is not the thing? In which case I'm like, what are your technical chops to talk about the Ordinals protocol, the first groundbreaking protocol that actually allows for Bitcoins on layer 1? That's my thing. It's just hilarious that people will still go on record and be like, Ordinals is not a thing. Just because there aren't like that many quality projects on the protocol right now doesn't mean that there won't be moving forward. It's just a really out to lunch take to be like, Ordinals is not going to be a thing. It's like, what are you guys even talking about?
Yeah, I think most people are maybe just talking about like this like cycle. Like I think in this cycle, there was definitely a lot of cash grabbing. There was definitely a lot of wash trading and like stuff that went on. And I think people are just talking about like a lot of the projects that like came out, probably aren't going to have legs. I'm personally very bullish on Ordinals long term in terms of like the protocol and where it's going. I think it's just like what is like happening on ETH during this cycle, which is like, getting ahead of your skis, right? Like the Ordinals got ahead of their skis. Me personally, people are going to disagree with me. I don't think BRC20s make sense on Ordinals. I think it's basically like trading commodities like in the 1970s with pink slips. It's just like like you're basically putting like numbers on an Ordinal and saying that it represents like tokens. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think gaming on Ordinals makes a lot of sense to me. Like Ordinals can be a massive market just being like, these are immutable NFTs on the biggest blockchain in the world. Like that's it. That you don't need all of these other like, hypey things for it to be a long-term valuable thing. And so I think that we're just seeing the natural cycles where it's just like people over speculate and then it gets pulled back and everyone says it's dead. But like Ordinals are going to be around and they're going to be big for a while. I mean, who's the guy that says there is no second best? I'm blanking on his name.
Michael Saylor.
Yeah, he even talked about Ordinals. Like you can't be like, this guy talked about Ordinals and thought that he thought it was cool, but this thing is just going to go to zero. Like it's really hard to like hold, like this guy's one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the entire world saying that he thinks it's good technology or interesting applications for it. And then being like, nah, this stuff is like absolutely dead. But yes, like a lot of the stuff from this cycle, it was just a bunch of people from ETH coming over to Ordinals trying to make short-term money. And that doesn't mean Ordinals is going to zero. It just means those
projects aren't good. Shocker. We've never seen that in the NFT space before. Humans went and made projects that were rug pulls. And you're trying to say that the technology is to blame for that. People have like super limited experience. They buy one rug pull, the price goes down. They go, Ordinals sucks. It's like, wait, what if, like Gerhard Richter said, I'm doing my next art piece on Ordinals and it gets auctioned for Christie's for $22 million. Is that bullshit? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, it's hilarious to me how shallow the understanding is from so many market participants about something where they're like, Ordinals is bullshit. And then what if the next humongous NFT project in a year and a half is built on Ordinals because it just makes sense to? All of a sudden your take is completely washed away, totally out to lunch, gone. I do think that you're onto something with the BRC20 stuff. That's the thing. I do think that you're onto something there.
It's just not necessary. There's no smart contracts. There's no ability to actually launch like the tokens on there. You're basically saying JPEGs represent tokens, which like, and it requires all of this off-chain technology to like make it work, which is like the antithesis of Bitcoin and is the antithesis of like immutable NFTs. So
Right.
he talked about ordinals in February. We were like very early to it. And I remember in February, basically our take was the same as it is today. We were like, this is very exciting, but like interesting technology, long-term bullish, but a lot of this crap that people are trading right now is not going to be worth anything. And everyone flamed us and called us idiots and said, we just didn't get it, blah, 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 blah. Now look, 6 months later, everybody's saying ordinals is dead. And we're still saying, no, we think this is long-term bullish. You just got to wait for the actual stuff to catch up,
And somebody just posted a comment. Christopher Nolan said ordinals are meaningless, which is a little inside joke for the audience of this show, because I think that the director, Christopher Nolan, is overrated. Director of Oppenheimer. I'll have to see that film soon, though, so I can give you an updated, nuanced take. But real quick, also, whether or not the NFTs are built on ordinals moving forward, they're going to be on Bitcoin one way or another, and they are going to get traction. If you think that Bitcoin, the number one blockchain in the world, the eternal blockchain, if you will, is not going to have some sort of technology built on it for NFTs, which it already does, called ordinals. I think that you need to really rethink the way you're thinking about this stuff. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap in just a minute. Wanted to give one more shout out to Phantom, the sponsor and official wallet partner of BoDoggos and the Nifty. If you're an NFT enthusiast, you need an Ethereum wallet that's actually purpose-built for the NFT community. None of the other wallets can say that they are purpose-built for the NFT community. So you got to check out Phantom, the wallet that offers the best way to showcase your NFT collection. You can import your seed phrases easily. You don't have to send NFTs back and forth. I already talked about the security benefits of Phantom and the fact that it supports Ethereum, Matic, and Solana all in one spot. So it's not just Solana. Ethereum and Matic are supported, and you're seeing features roll out steadily that allow you to do things in wallet with your Ethereum NFTs, which again, no other wallet can say that they can offer. You don't have to connect to any marketplace. You can just operate right in Phantom. So there's already millions of users, that's millions with an M, enjoying the amazing experience on Solana, and they're bringing that same sleek user interface and excitement to Ethereum with support for multiple seed phrases, so you can import and manage all your wallets in one place. Again, no transfer, no gas fees, none of that. Super easy. So if you're ready to take your NFT trading to the next level, go to phantom.app, import your seed phrase, or just create an ETH wallet and fund it to get in the mix. We got a free NFT at thenifty.com. Go to thenifty.com/claim. Connect your Phantom wallet while you're at it. But the free NFT password today is Arrow55. So that's ARROW 55. Go to thenifty.com, thenifty.com/claim, and put in the password Arrow55 to claim your free NFT today. Clemente, if you want to pull it up on the YouTube screen so everybody can see it, that's cool. Thenifty.com/claim. Password is Arrow55. We will be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I think Nicky Boy will be back tomorrow from his little vacation. We'll have to hear all about the vacation and see how Nick, enjoyed it. So yeah, we do the show Monday through Friday. If it's your first time listening, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. or so Eastern time each and every day. The show's also available on YouTube if you want to watch the experience. A lot of people enjoy that and checking out, the visual conversation, but also the things that we pull up on screen as we discuss. Also, if you want to share the show with people outside of Twitter, you can go to Apple or Spotify podcasts, wherever you find your podcast. All of those links are available if you follow the NFT Morning Show account, which is the host of the Twitter Spaces right here. If you're on Twitter, all the links are very easy to find. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening. Again, go to thenifty.com/claim, put in the code Arrow55,